From trauma to joie de vivre. How is that possible? Welcome to Post-Trauma Secrets and Decluttering, where we go behind the scene and reveal how to free yourself. Come and discover the 4 dimensions of a decluttering journey with your host, Valerie Huard.
Welcome to Post-Trauma Secrets and Decluttering podcast. This is a season full of surprises. You will learn tons of stories and information about the holistic decluttering journey, about letting go of trauma and clutter, and taking back control of your life and your home. This season is particularly special because I shared a mic with one of our extraordinary students. I had the chance to witness her amazing transformation, to see her take control of her life and find peace and joy. I'm so grateful that she accepted to interview me during this season. As a church pastor, Reverend Tammie was trusted by her congregation to care for them in their darkest moment. As she cared for others, she was living in her own dark story. At the age of 30, she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, and found coping with life's simplest task was becoming difficult and taking more of her energy. She decided that nothing was going to take her life from her and began a journey of recovery and created a life that is thriving. Thanks for joining us, Tammy.
Thank you. Today, we are diving into a topic that resonates with so many of us: stress. Stress, often as an unseen and pervasive force, can deeply impact our lives, cluttering not just our physical spaces, but our mental well-being too. Valerie, with her extensive experience and innovative approach at Do Well, brings a unique perspective to this universal challenge. We'll explore the intricacies of stress, its effects, and how it intertwines with our daily clutter, and most importantly, the effective strategies to manage and reduce it. Stay with us as we uncover the transformative power of understanding and tackling stress, a key to unlocking a more balanced, productive, and tranquil life. Valerie, it is important to shed light on this pivotal aspect of our journey towards holistic decluttering and personal empowerment. As stress is a huge topic in today's world, can you give us a definition of stress?
Oh, that's a big request, but yes. Stress is the body's natural response to challenges or demands. It's a physiological and psychological reaction that occurs when an individual, when someone perceives a disparity between the demands placed upon them and their ability to meet those demands. While stress can be a motivator sometimes, it becomes problematic when it is excessive or chronic, leading to negative impacts on our health and well-being.
That certainly sounds quite serious. Valerie, for a person coping with post-traumatic stress disorder, does he or she experience everyday stress differently than a person who is not struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yes. Firstly, individuals with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD often have heightened stress response. This is due to changes in their brain chemistry and functions, particularly in areas responsible for emotion, memory, like the amygdala, hippocampus, and the prefrontal cortex, the part at the front of the brain. These changes can cause them to perceive a greater level of threat in everyday situation, leading to an exaggerated stress response. For example, a loud noise or a crowded environment may trigger a stress response that is more intense and prolonged than it would be for someone without PTSD, like those fireworks. Secondly,
yes,
The nature of PTSD means that individuals often relive their traumatic experience either through flashback or intrusive thought. This constant re-experiencing can keep their stress level elevated, making them more susceptible to stress from daily occurrence because their stress is already high. So every daily stress add on. And what may be a minor inconvenience or a routine challenge to others can be perceived as overwhelming and threatening to someone with PTSD, exacerbating their stress response. Emotionally, there's also a difference. People with PTSD may experience a heightened state of negative emotion like fear, sadness, guilt, or shame in response to everyday stressor like the delivery man that bring something. This can make it more challenging for them to engage in activities that others may find relaxing or enjoyable, further compounding their stress. And furthermore, coping mechanisms often differ. While someone without PTSD may employ a range of strategies to manage everyday stress, the people with PTSD may find that their usual coping mechanisms are ineffective. They may also resort to unhealthy coping strategies such as substance abuse or avoidance behavior, or even accumulating clutter, which can create additional stress. So basically, everyday stress is often more intense, persistent, and challenging for those with PTSD. It's not just about the magnitude of stress they experience, but also about how their bodies and mind process and respond to that stress. This underscores the importance of specialized support and tailored strategy to help individuals with PTSD manage their unique stress response effectively.
It's amazing learning about stress and how it affects us. What is happening in a person's body when stress is being experienced?
Okay, so when stress is experienced, a complex series of physiological and biochemical reactions occurs in the body, primarily driven by the nervous system and hormonal response. Okay, that's a lot of big words, okay? But understanding this process involves looking at the immediate, what we call the fight or flight response, and the longer term effect of chronic stress, okay? So I will get simple in that. But before it's getting simple, I still have a couple of long words to share. So PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, can disrupt the body's natural stress regulation. That means the way the body manages the stress normally, okay? And there's a part in our brain that we call the HPA, okay? You don't need to remember what is the name for that. It is hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, okay? A long word, we use HPA. So basically, this body regulation it's done by the HPA axis, okay? This is where it's governed the stress hormone cortisol that is released when we have that fight or flight response, okay? So what happened, okay? First, there's an increase in the heart rate and blood pressure. And this is because the body needs to rapidly supply oxygen and nutrients, the food for the body, to the key body area like muscle and vital organs. This is a survival reaction. And then another reaction is the release of the cortisol. And that's the primary stress hormone, okay? So the blood pressure is elevated, increasing the heart rate, then we release the cortisol, okay? Cortisol play a crucial role in managing how your body uses the carbohydrate, that's the sugar, and the fat, and the protein. It also alters the immune system response because our body doesn't have the time to fight with the immune system response. while it needs to fight for its life physically. Okay? So the heart rate, the blood pressure, so more oxygen, more nutrient, then the cortisol kind of amplify all of that by helping managing the carbohydrate, fat, and protein that is what nourish your body. Then there will be sensory alertness. You know, sometimes we feel like that before falling asleep. All your senses become sharper and your brains become more focused and preparing to either fight the stress or flee from it.
Yes, I've experienced that.
And then, as I said, the immune system has a reaction. So at the beginning, it kind of boosts the immune system for not a long period of time, but chronic stress weakens the immune system, making you more susceptible to get ill. There, you know, in the fight or flight, there will be muscle tension. That's to allow us to go away or to fight, but also to prevent injuries. That's why often when we hear that something happened, the person doesn't feel if there's an injury at the beginning. And then when we relax after the stress, then it's okay. But for someone with PTSD, the muscle may not get the chance to relax. They may stay stressed. There's also an alteration in the reproductive systems, okay? What I mean by that is chronic stress can affect menstrual cycle, erectile function, and libido. We often forget to talk about these. And there's neurological effects. So stress affects brain functions, including memory, moods, and prolonged stress can lead to structural changes in some parts of the brain. As a result, individuals with PTSD may find it harder to recover from stress, leading to a state of prolonged tension and heightened alertness. In the case of chronic stress, you know, that's mean when the stress stay there for a couple months and more. These responses are continually activated, which is where stress can become harmful. The body is designed to handle small doses of stress, but long-term activation of these stress response can lead to health problems like heart disease, sleep problems, digestive issue, depression, obesity, memory impairment, and so on. It's the reason why managing stress, both through short-time coping mechanism and long-time lifestyle change, is so important for the overall health. Because as you see, the stress affects multiple systems in our body.
Yes, it sounds quite complicated. And I can relate to that heightened alertness. I spent so much time there, and it created terrible problems with insomnia, trying to relax and sleep. So I understand what you're talking about. Does stress also affect the mind? If so, how does it manifest itself in the mind?
Oh yes, stress affects both the conscious and subconscious mind in simple ways. So in your conscious mind, which is the part you're aware and you used to think and make decisions, okay, that's the conscious mind. Stress can make it hard to focus. You may find it tough to think clearly, like having brain fog, or make choices because stress is like a noisy crowd in your brain, making it hard to concentrate. In the subconscious mind, which work in the background and control things you don't think about, like habits or reaction, stress can have sneaky effect. It may make you feel anxious or scared about something without having a clear reason. Or you may start doing things like biting your nails or feeling upset more easily. This is because your subconscious mind is trying to handle the stress even when you're not thinking about it. So stress can make your conscious mind feel all mixed up, and it can make your subconscious mind act in ways you may not expect. That is why it's so important to find ways to calm both parts of your mind.
If we're not able to calm both parts of our mind, it's almost like a battle going on inside of our head, it
Yes.
sounds like. Can anyone completely eliminate stress from his or her life?
No. It's not really possible to get rid of all stress in your life. Life continues, stress is a normal part of life. Like when you have a big project at work or at school, or when you're dealing with something unexpected, like a car accident. Everyone has a bit of stress. Even adding a little bit can actually be helpful to get things done. That last minute syndrome.
Right.
But
Yes.
the important thing is not to let stress get too big or stick around for too long. It's like having a little rain now and then, which is okay, but you wouldn't want it to rain all the time. You can learn ways to handle stress, like taking breaks and taking walks, talking with friends, doing things you enjoy, learning how to relax. But you cannot completely get rid of it. But you can definitely learn how to make it smaller and not let it bother you too much. It's all about finding balance and taking good care of yourself.
I found that to be so true. Taking good care of myself and finding balance was a real game changer for me. We hear about good stress and bad stress. You talked a little bit about that already. Can you give us examples of each one?
Of course, good stress is like when you feel excited or challenged in a good way, like before making a podcast episode, for example. Imagine you're getting ready for a fun event
Yes.
like a wedding, or you have a small project that you're really into it, like a craft project or a decluttering project. This kind of stress makes you feel alive and energized. It's like a quick burst that helps you do your best. Now, bad stress is the kind that makes you feel unhappy or overwhelmed. Think about when you have too much work and no time to relax, or you're worried about something for a long period of time. This stress can make you feel tired, upset, or even sick. It's like a heavy backpack that you can't put down. So good stress is like quick sprints that boost you, and bad stress is like a long, hard marathons that wear you out. It's important to have more of the good stress and find a way to reduce the bad stress in your life.
Yes, the bad stress can wear you out. Chronic exhaustion is part of this post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's very important for us to learn that lesson. What are some of the methods to manage undesirable stress?
Oh my God, that is so crucial for our well-being. So let's start with the beginning. First, I will name deep breathing and relaxation technique. When you're stressed, your breathing often becomes quick and shallow. By taking slow and deep breath, you can calm your mind and reduce the tension. Try breathing exercise, meditation, yoga, which are great for relaxing your body and your mind. That brings me to number 2, regular exercise. So physical activity is a fantastic stress reliever. It doesn't need to be intense. Even a daily walk, a bit of gardening, or some stretching can help release endorphins, the body's natural mood lifter. Exercise also helps take your mind off worries. Now, what goes often with exercise? Healthy eating habits. So, what we eat affects how we feel. In fact, we become what we eat. Eating a balanced diet can help keep your energy level up and your mind clear. Try to cut down on caffeine and sugar, which can make you feel jittery and anxious, and drink plenty of water. The fourth thing I will say is a little bit more difficult. It's getting enough sleep. And I'm saying it's a little bit more difficult because sometimes when we are stressed, it's hard to sleep. But at the same time, lack of sleep also makes stress worse. So we need to establish a regular sleep routine to be able to avoid screen before bedtime and create restful environment in your bedroom. All of that to help you balance your sleep.
Yes, that has been one of my biggest challenges, being able to get enough sleep, establish that routine, and to be able to relax so I can go to sleep.
But it
I
is
know it's
possible.
important.
Yeah, it's possible
Yes, it
because
is.
you're sleeping right now.
Yes, I am much better.
Okay, I have a couple more strategy for you. Setting realistic
Okay.
goals. Sometimes stress comes from trying to do too much. And it's important to set achievable goals and taking break. Not just taking break, but breaking tasks into smaller manageable steps. Don't be afraid to say no to things that will overload your schedule. You can also talk about stress, like sharing your worries with someone can really help lighten the load. Talk to friends, family, or a counselor about what's stressing you. Just venting, can make a big difference. Taking breaks and enjoying hobbies. It's so important to do that, even when we're at work or studying long period of time. It's important to spend that time doing things you enjoy. And they distract you from your stress and they bring joy. To last, mindfulness. Practice mindfulness like Tai Chi, Qigong, and reduce stress by helping you stay grounded and focus on the present moment rather than worrying about the past or about the future. And if stress becomes overwhelming, it's okay to seek help from a professional. They can provide strategies and tools specifically tailored to your own needs. So remember, managing stress is about finding what works for you, and it's about balance, self-care, and being kind to yourself. Start with small steps, and gradually you'll find your ways to a more peaceful and stress-free life. Oh my God, Tammy, thank you so much for interviewing me today. It's been a true pleasure discussion and such important topic as stress. Your questions were incredibly insightful and have allowed us to delve deeper into the world of stress management and mental well-being, which are so crucial in our lives today.
They certainly are, Valerie, and this has been my pleasure. Thank you.
To all our listeners, I hope you find this episode valuable and enlightening. If you did, I encourage you to like and share this episode with your friends and family or anyone you think could benefit from our discussion. Spreading awareness and helpful strategies for managing stress can make a huge difference in people's lives. Remember, taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. By sharing this episode, you may be helping someone find the tools they need to navigate their stress more effectively. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful conversation like this one.
Thank you so much for taking time to listen to this episode. If you want to help break the trauma stigma, share this episode and give hope to your friends and let them know it is possible to get free from trauma. Valerie and JM want to help you further by offering you Declutter Your Life 101. Be sure to go to dowellht.com/free yourself. That's dowellht.com/free yourself to get your free quick summary and start your decluttering journey. Thanks again for tuning in, and be sure to join us next time to discover another secret on post-trauma secrets and decluttering.